Hello, this is Jess, and this is chat session number 57. It's Wednesday night, December 27th, 2017. And we're going to go right into the tidbits of history. 1932. At the height of the Great Depression, thousands turn out for the opening of the Radio City Music Hall, a magnificent art decor theater in New York City. Radio City Music Hall was designed as a palace for the people, a place of beauty where ordinary people could see high-quality entertainment. Since its opening in 1932, more than 300 million people have gone to Radio City to enjoy movies, stage shows, concerts, and special events. The Radio City Music Hall was the brainchild of Rockefeller Jr. He wanted to build it. He had billions, of course, and he wanted to build it, so he did. And today it is the largest indoor theater in the world. And now they do concerts, all kinds of stuff. And it had in 1999 went under a $70 million renovation, and still going today. All right, now we're going to go to 1944. As World War II dragged on, President Franklin Roosevelt orders his Secretary of War to seize properties belonging to the Montgomery Ward Company because the company refused to comply with a labor agreement. Roosevelt formed the War Department, I think is what it was called, to gain control if you needed to keep the war effort rolling. World War II was dragging on, but there was a guy, he was the chairman of the board, I guess, at Montgomery Ward. Sewell was his name, and one of his favorite insults was to call someone a new dealer. That was the whole thing that Roosevelt's administration was the New Deal, and so it could have gotten personal, but he refused to comply with a agreement, and so being tired of his view towards the government and to make sure that products were continually flowing to the war effort, he seized control of all of Montgomery Ward's properties, and I think there was 9 plants total, and they even escorted Sewell out under National Guard escort, so that turned into a big ordeal, but it's something that at that time, it's different than today maybe, but at that time it was an essential part of making sure that the United States war effort didn't fail, and of course World War II ended thereafter. So that's the history. We have one more week of NFL football, week 17. A lot of good games. A lot of teams will be resting players for the playoffs. So the games could be all mixed up on who wins, who loses. Some teams it won't matter. Other teams it matters for everything. So it's going to be a good, tough battle this week, week 17, before the playoffs. All the games apparently are on Sunday. Tons of 12 o'clock games and then 3 o'clock games, no night games. I guess being New Year's on Monday, they want to give players time to enjoy the holiday as well with their families and to get in the New Year's celebration. So the last game should probably be over around 9 o'clock, I would say, or earlier, maybe even 8 o'clock. If they start at 4, yeah, probably, I don't know, 7, 8, somewhere in there. It gives the players plenty of time to chill out before they go out and try to enjoy some festivities on New Year's Eve. And it is getting close. Today is the 27th, so New Year's Day is approaching. I don't know what everyone thinks about what's going on. Maybe it's overblown a little bit, but there is truth in the way the administration, the Trump administration I'm talking about, is handing everything over to the businesses. He's taking away our national lands for industrialization of a product that we may not even need because we have all this new technology for power. Coal industry's out, but he keeps saying it's going to happen. Some of these states, that was their livelihood, was the coal industry, but now it's time for everybody to upgrade. Coal's not necessary really anymore. It's become irrelevant to the mainstream of how we get power, and yet he promised all these people that they'd be going back to work, and they continually still support him, saying he's going to do it for them, but there is no legitimate demand for new coal plants. Why is that so difficult for people to understand? It was a straight out lie. Unfortunate for those people. They depend on it for their livelihood, but I didn't do it to him. Trump did it. He's the one who said he was going to do that for you. And yet we still walk away saying, oh, Trump's the best president that ever was, but all these people are without work. That can't be good. And then you have all these corporations just buying votes. These senators, these congressmen, they're just cashing out. Where are you, Ted Nugent? I saw a little video of you saying that you want accountability for what the government spends and how it spends it. Well, how did you feel about all this? How did you feel about all the lies and the things that are being said that aren't being forthright? They're not happening like they promised, and yet it was their whole platform to run to make America great again, to make the corporations great again, maybe, or to give them more power that they already have way too much of, by our Supreme Court passing legislation and laws and rules about corporations or people too, that gave an immediate buyout to all of our government. It's for sale to the highest bidder. That used to be called bribery. It was unethical, but now it's become a okay occurrence. And that's where I think the change needs to come. We need to say, man, what the hell? We don't care if the Supreme Court said that corporations are people. They're not. And we need to get people that say, hey, we want accountability from the government to stand up. So what if you don't agree with someone else's idea on some other things about helping the poor and doing things that are good for people who have nothing? You can blame them for sitting around not doing anything and they're expecting money and all that. Well, I think that they should be able to eat. I think they should have a place to stay. Circumstances affect people who don't have money. They got to make choices that people who have everything for themselves, that yeah, they worked hard for. I'm not holding that against them, but they don't have to worry about how they're going to pay something, how they're going to afford to eat, how they're going to afford to drive a car that they can't afford because of the insurance, because of the gas, because of all the things that keep people from doing something. It takes money. And this goes back to the importance of how our money are so structured. But those people just need a... I'm not saying all of them. There's abusers in the wealthy. There's abusers in the poorest people. People trying to get whatever they can, no matter how they can get it. I don't agree if it comes from a poor person. I don't agree if it comes from a rich person. But I do agree that we're all blessed with an attitude of compassion and caring and making sure that we're taken care of. Not just giving our money away for nothing. Not just saying, these people don't deserve it. I think that there has to be a middle line there. I guess we're so worried about not having that we can't see what damage is happening to the people that are our neighbors and our friends and people that we don't even know that live in this country that's supposed to be founded on some form of compassion like we do in other countries around the world. We go and we try to have compassion, but we've lost focus of what's happening right here in our own country. It's going to be New Year's. I don't want to go off on all this, but I still think that the hope is that the people that oppose all the people that don't go out and do anything, and the people that don't go out and do anything because they expect money, I think we should all come together and people should be accountable. But I think that their accountability starts with, getting involved in a lot of ways to help those who have less or who are unfortunate in circumstances because of our money structure in this country. But that's all. Let's be truthful, be happy, and let's watch out for each other, okay? This is Jess, chat session number 57. Have a great Wednesday evening. Looking forward to football this weekend, and looking forward to a great New Year coming up where we can all somehow lay down our ideologies of hate and greed and form some kind of middle road where all these opposing ideologies can come together and realize that there is a need for action that involves caring about each other. All right. Have a great evening.